Here we're going to talk about what a reference is. Reference itself is not a concept specific to rigging. It's actually more commonly used by animators. What does reference mean? Let's do it together. See, I have an empty scene file here. In the File menu, we find Create Reference. This will pop up a window. Then we can select the file we want to reference. Here we choose the rig for this car. Then you will see our car rig in this scene. But you might ask, what is the difference between this and the import we usually use? We know that import actually puts all the information from another file into the current scene file, becoming a part of the current scene file. But reference and the import we just mentioned have a fundamental difference. If you open the File menu and find the Reference Editor, a new window will appear. Here we will see the car rig we just referenced. You will see there is a path here. Every time we open a scene file that contains references, like what we have now, it actually does two steps. First, it opens the file information of this scene file itself. Then, based on each reference node, it finds the corresponding path and displays the file from the corresponding path in our scene. Look at this description. Our scene itself doesn't actually remember any information about the reference file. This information remains in its original file. What does the scene file remember? It remembers a file path. Every time we open it, we have to read this file path. What are the benefits of doing this? Well, the benefits of this, first of all, it makes our file very small. For example, if I save my current file, let's call it animation shot. Save as an MA file. Let's check its size. Here we can see the rig file itself is 61.6 MB, but the animation shot file we just saved is only 57.7 KB, because it doesn't store any information about the rig file itself. Every time we open this 57.7 KB shot file, it will first read the shot's own file information and then use the referenced path inside to find the rig file, and then display the information from the rig file. So if we want to send this shot to someone else for them to open, don't forget at this point to attach the rig file as well. Otherwise, when we open this file, it won't find the other file at the corresponding path, and it won't be able to display these files in the scene. There are many benefits to doing this. First, it makes our scene files very small, and if we want to repeatedly use a file, the scene file itself won't become very large. For example, if we have 3 cars in our scene, each car is about 60 MB. If we import all 3 cars into the scene, then our scene actually contains 3 car models, 3 car rigs. In that case, our scene file size would become around 180 MB. But if we reference all 3 cars into the scene only records 3 paths, and these 3 paths all point to the same rig file. In that case, the scene file itself might still be 57.7 KB, and our rig file is about 60 MB. But there won't be any additional rig files for the new vehicles. So when we have many identical files to put into the scene, using reference can make the file size much smaller. Another great thing is because it reads a path, so before we read the reference file, the scene file itself actually doesn't know any file information about the reference file. That means we can modify the file that is to be referenced. And every time it's read, it will update automatically. Let's take an example here. We switch back to the car rig file. Look here, we are using this carrig.ma file. And we make some simple adjustments to it. I won't make any complex adjustments here. I'll create a box. Put this box under the geometry group. Just like that, very simple. Then we save it, overwrite the original file. Next, we go back to the scene file. You see, I'm now in this animation shot file. We go to the File menu, find the reference editor, then select this rig, and reload. This way you will see the box we just added is also updated and displayed in the scene file. This feature is actually very convenient. Think about it. If there are 4 cars in the scene, all exactly the same, now I need to make a unified change to them, like adding a box to the roof as we just did. If we had used the import method, there would be no connection between the 4 cars. In that case, we would have to perform the add box operation for each car individually. Imagine this. What if we have 100 cars in our scene? But if we use the reference method, Whether it's 100 cars or 1000 cars, they all point to the same file. So we just have to go back to this car rig file, add a box model to the car, and all the vehicles in the scene will be updated synchronously. This is undoubtedly more convenient. So here, when we animate, we will use reference, because on one hand, it makes the animation file smaller. On the other hand, it ensures that while we are animating, we can also update the rig file at any time, thereby improving the efficiency of collaboration between departments.